going through this week's wildcard mission. Kill the Battle Electro a whole bunch.
Machine versus machine!
One falls, another is made.
I guess I could skip through a lot of the main story stuff, you know, go through all the little mini quests. Oh.
Damn, another barrier. Garda, have any more Bruce bombs for me?
I have one for each of Vile Lictor's crimes against the Augurs. So, a great many. Functionally infinite, really. Check the matter, relocator.
I have a Amara, I am inside Lictor's bunker. That is not useful. How are you in Hamar?
We've got the bastards' goons running scared. It looks like our rift sent us to the other side of the fortress from you. Meet us on the upper level.
Another timekeeper pit!
Rolling around, Bolt Hunter. Hands on the skin of a giant. Once you have tasted the raw of the dimension, all else seems infantile. Your guns, your little tricks. So impotent by comparison.
Little big. Nancy, hear that? We must punish him. Dead. Galda, requesting a Bruce bomb delivery.
Gladly. There's a matter relocator nearby.
Ah! I have a gear to pick with you lot.
Your friend grasps the magnitude of this power as a mere lab rat, possibly. One cast aside and no longer needed, much like you, Bolt Hunter.
I've got time. You monster! I'll make you pay for how you used her. Bolt Hunter, look at all of this.
Lictor's ghastly experiments, his abuses of my people. It was all to power this phase monstrosity. You must destroy it before he tears the Terminus range in half.
Agreed. This ends now. We need to cut the shields around that giant rift engine. You got a way to take out the phase barriers protecting the shield generators?
Oh, I do. Time for a bit of fruit juice.
Wellspring, the Bruce bombs will see you through. Toss them freely.
I do the respawn. I feel dumb.
good. I needed a new punching bag. Impressive. Now destroy the iridium.
I feel it. The phase dimension feeds me. You cannot stop my apotheosis.
We've got to stop him before he draws more power.
This happens to be my favorite spot. Break your shackles, pull! The burn means it's work.
Such one-dimensional thinking, and I have already achieved everything.
The shields are down. Look.
Cease this. If only you could sample the power I feel. But you would rather smash the columns of heaven itself. Here. Bear witness to a mere scrap of my power. My creations will scour you from my sight.
The only thing getting smashed is your face.
Ew! Faces only a mother could love. You have smoked the tiger's cage, Victor.
Your friend Psyche? Perhaps not. A stepping stone on my path to the divine.
Bastard! You'll die for what you did to her. Vault Hunter, come! And make us a way forward. Enough talk! It's time to settle this!
Order track! Right for the Behold Amara, destroyer of worlds!
You're an impressive specimen, Siren. I wonder what my scalpel will find underneath those tattoos.
She's just strolling around. Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. Yeah, puppy, puppy, puppy. Puppy, 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 puppy. Hi, puppy. Yeah. Yeah, you're crazy. EBS snoo. Oh, snoo. Why you gotta ride at me so hard? You're gonna break my hips.
There is power in the darkness.
I'm gonna skip this shit.
A strange ocean churns in the shadow cast by reality.
There it is.
But you face a god!
I have to move! Fast!
Applying pressure.
This must be the phase dimension.
Yeah, I hate fucking RJ. Why is it locked?
So Lictor had his own machinations. Always the risk with ambitious underlings. Oh, a shame you killed me before I could discipline him myself.
Those 6 years went by like a flash. Can't even imagine.
You're one tip closer to being my favorite customer, Sugar.
Let's tip Janky to tits.
Now that's what I like to see. Feel free to make it a habit, honey.
Nice. It's true what you say.
I wish you could
Take
do it
care of
quicker.
me and I'll take care of you, Sugar.
Massive blowjobs for everyone. Yeah.
It's good to be back. It really is.
She has like the perfect rack.
What's cooking?
Got the perfect boobies. I think I'll move around for a bit. Get them talking. Damn, it's already 1 o'clock. Yeah, but I'm just gonna stay up. I got about 6 hours for I have to go to work. I'm debating on what I want to do. My leg's still fucking hurt. I can't really lift weights right now. What to do? What to talk about? I don't know what to talk about. Nothing's really happened. That yesterday's job was pretty good. Nothing out of the ordinary happened. Our new guy's working better now. You know what the honest truth is? I was saying some stuff about the new kidnap. I'm thinking that he probably has like kind of like me, because I was like, I guess you say I was in like the special needs kind of stuff like that, because I didn't really like had the focus for school and that, because I didn't care about school that much. I was more or less likely like, what the fuck? I don't care about school. I want to play video games and stuff like that. It kind of made me think. Me and this kid are not far off. Comes on the focus and that, like, honestly, he's doing better than me by far. I don't know. I think if I look myself from my past self to where I am now, there's a lot of people doing way better than me when it comes to certain things. So I kind of have to like think about it, and sometimes I don't. Think about it, like, man, when I was their age, that was just completely different. Even though it doesn't matter now, because I think learning is an aspect that just takes time, and some people kind of hinder the time. They kind of want to rush through stuff really quickly now, which is whatever. But I don't know. Being at my old age and that, when I think back, shit, 20 years ago when I was 16. Well, first off, life was just so much different. When I was 16, that was 2006. Like, internet just popped up in that. One of the things I had was I had like really huge anxiety in that. I never really had confidence of myself in that. And I can see why Jesus said what he said about how demons torment you. I say, oh, you're not good enough in that. You're not good enough for this and that. But like, when it came down to how people act, it gets to the point where it's like, damn, it kind of sucks. Because the life that you live is very promising when you go through the steps. And the number one step that everyone wants to go through is finding love. So I always tell people that, like, to find love in life, you have to make sure you conquer the steps of manhood or womanlyhood. You can't walk down the path of being confused and trying to think that everything's based upon your ideas. Because your ideas are flawed because you don't know much. Even if you do know a whole lot, you can only do so much with them because you can only grasp so much. That's why if we follow our hearts and we follow our desires, and our desires are normally the things that we actually really do want, not the things that are put into our minds. It's like when you're a child that you get very creative child that your desires as a child that is something that grows with you. It stays with you for a whole entire life. So you have to think back to your child desire that. Like my child desire is to love everybody. I always want to help everybody. I've always been a big helper type person. I believe in helping people. I believe in, sacrificing my time, even if it's just a brief moment, to be able to help someone out. Even if it's a simple ass thing, like one day, I was walking to work, and this one like lady, I've never seen her before. I don't know where she came from. If I have seen her, it was just kind of weird because she had two dogs with her. It was really weird because I've never seen her before. I see people walk around with dogs and that a lot, but like this person was a homeless person with two dogs. It was kind of weird. I'm like, well, why do you have two dogs for when you're homeless and that? Like, I'm trying to like, my mind's trying to embrace this, and like, one of the things is, I walked up and she dropped a bottle. Just a simple thing. The bottle kept rolling. That like she looked like her arm was messed up or something like that. So I grabbed the bottle and gave it to her, and she had such a like kind vibe to her that I felt like it was God itself because like it was so kind. The dogs kind of weren't paying attention to me. Like the one dog had like a little like bugle, like a little Taco Bell dog. I put my hand out to it. It kind of like looked at me. It kind of barked a little bit, and then it looked away from me. And so most dogs normally tend to sniff you when you put your hand out. It's kind of like a sign, and like it kind of funneled to me when I started thinking about the gospel and that when stuff like this happens, that God actually does that sometimes. He'll become a homeless person or someone out of nowhere trying to give you signals and that and say, hey, no, if I do this, what are you going to do? Are you going to do the act of kindness to give that to me? Or are you going to sit there and walk by it and then I'm going to sit there and know where you lie at? And it's just like, it came to me. As soon as I saw her drop the bottle, so the act of kindness went through the roof with me. And normally I don't deal with a lot of homeless people, especially the ones I see all the time and that. I don't think any ill will towards them. I just look at them like, most of them are dopers and that, or they have a lot of like psychological issues where they don't actually want to be part of society. Like I can ask them. I asked this one lady. She's in a wheelchair and that. She's been living like homeless around here for like literally years. She stacks up a bunch of stuff and that. She makes like her little fortress. It's actually kind of cool. She has a whole bunch of like tote boxes and that she finds and she stacks her stuff up and that, and she makes like a little fortress around her. Like even if it rains and that, she'll throw like a plastic sheet over her and that, and like it like puts out the rain and that, and like it's actually kind of cool in that how like they're building their own like civilization just within their little radius. She stockpiles like food and shit, whatever it is, and that. And I never know how she lives, but like for some reason she keeps on going, and it made me want to think, and that's like if God puts good people in this world to support the people that are weak, the people have mental illness and that, or say like people not say mental illness all the way because some people are just tormented by demons. They're just actively stupidly going into temptation because they don't understand what's going on. And these are people that actually do work and actually do have societal privileges to be able to make money to be able to survive off of it. Like I see this, I've been seeing this lady for a while now. She eats enough to kind of still be fat. Like she still has like fat on her and that. And it always amazes me because every time I see her now, like I asked her one time, but just like I say, hey, it's like you want a donut on that? And she's like, oh no, I'm okay. And she's always very okay with it. But that one older lady that like she just came out of nowhere. And maybe I'll see her every now and again. That, but like she had like she's had like a smart water. Like she was gonna like water her dogs and that because they seemed like they were thirsty and that. And like I don't know, it's just weird though. She says like all the act of kindness that people do is written into heaven. God remembers all the acts of kindnesses that people do, and you will get that blessed in heaven. It's like you always have treasures gathered in heaven when you don't have them on here. And it's the why like some people in that that have a hard life and that because they can't do things, they have to be supported by people. It can be annoying sometimes, and sometimes you don't give voice of like one like when people ask me for money and that I always say I never carry any cash on me. It's like I never do. Because I always have people out of nowhere that, and they ask me quite a bit. It's like, oh, can I have 50 cents? I say, how do you not have 50 cents? I'm always asking that. It's like, oh, can I have $1? I say, oh, I need it for the bus. And I'm always sense to not believe in them half the time in that because I'm like, if you ride the bus all the time in that, you should have change for that. Because the guy, the last guy I talked to, man, he said I had to pick up my paycheck from my work. And I said, if you have a job, bro, how do you not have cash? And this is where I get at. Someone that's able to work has to work for themselves. They have to have their own food. They have to work and pay for their own stuff. But when these people sit there and they work and they blow all their money on drugs and stupid shit, and they're always asking for handouts, like, dude, if you have a job, maybe you should just, try to go to rehab. I mean, they have state rehabs all over the place that do it for fucking free. Our tax money goes towards this shit. Going to rehab, get off the crap. Go into normal life being more free. Because you're not free when you're on drugs. Because you're enabling the demons attack you even more now because you're not giving your sins away to Christ and having him forgive you. You keep on trying to induce your mind to thinking that's what gets rid of sins, and these people are fucking lying to you. these doctors, all these people, they're lying to you for the money aspect of it. I say God's free. God's there to help you, not for you to help him. God don't need help. God don't need us. We need him. He loves us, but he doesn't need us. He wants a relationship with us because he loves us. But when we start to go down this road of thinking that inducing ourselves with heroin and crack and cocaine and meth and all these other opioids and weed and stuff like that, they make up excuses for all the stuff that weed's not bad for you. I keep on saying, but why are you not better then? You ask them that. It's like, why am I so much better than you? I don't smoke any of that shit. I pray.
Hard to believe this
I
place was ever
relinquish my
more than a
sins.
wasteland.
I throw out prayers every day. I give thanks to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I give thanks to Almighty God. I give thanks to my guardian angel. And I do it more and more now because I know they exist. I know they're watching over me. I know they're there. And it kind of blows my mind now. It's like, how can I teach these people to see it because they don't see it? And it's like, it's hard to explain this to someone because it's a individual relationship with God. Like if you get someone that has a relationship with Jesus and you have a relationship with Jesus, then you could join together and praise Jesus together. But the problem is trying to find people that are like that. They literally have their own scoped mind that they don't really give a fuck. They're all like, well, life is terrible. Life is so bad. Life is so unfair. And they scapegoat around like this and that. They get into ugly relationships with paganistic type people and that are demon worshippers. They don't even know what they are. They're panicking. They're worrying. And I always notice like righteous, kind of like more righteous you are as a male or female, you attract wicked people. Because they're trying to get a release. They're trying to get, it's like, oh, you're such a great person in that, and I want some of that greatness for myself. And I'm always saying that because, like, one of the ladies that I work with in that, like, we're slowly starting to build, like, this, like, kind of like a relationship that she wants to get, like, communicated with me more. And she sees favoritism in me. Well, yeah, because your boyfriend is a complete moron. He decided to walk down the path of unrighteousness, and now he's stuck in a pattern of mass pride, and he has enormous amount of like psychological issues in that. It's not because he's not on weed and smoking the fucking Gandhi fucking bull and shit. No, motherfucker, it's because his spirit is weak, and he hasn't adapted to sacrificing his fleshly needs for the spirit to grow. And that's the fundamentals of it. When you sacrifice fleshy stuff and you let your spirit grow, it disciplines your flesh to not enable that anymore. It's like when people do drugs, and I see guys that are like, one guy I'm working at, he's going, man, I ain't smoked weed all day. He's like panicking and fucking freaking out. Like, yeah, because you're hiding your demons instead of releasing your demons, instead of having God purify yourself and get rid of them. That's all weed does. It literally has a fake front of like a hallucination of what you actually are. When you smoke it, you actually are who you actually want to be. That you actually are. But when you get off the drugs, it's just a drug. So it doesn't really stay with you forever. Well, that's the whole point. When Jesus heals you, he heals you inside first to the outside. Because then you think differently, you speak differently, you feel differently, you look at the world for what it actually is, and you don't indept yourself into the temptations. Everybody else is not to say that you don't get into temptation. And temptation's always going to be there. The thing is, you get out of the temptations that are paranoid and stuff like that. I only say it's because I don't get paranoid much anymore, barely at all. Why? Because I don't give a fuck. I don't care about the future. The future doesn't bother me. Like right now, I'm walking around. I got amino drinks in me. I took my my peptides in that. Now I had my protein shake with some pizza in that. So I got all my proteins and carbs in that. When it comes down to it, that's just the fleshly need. It doesn't stop the spiritual attack. Just bringing up Jesus' name, talking about Jesus, thinking about Jesus, He always says, "Keep your eyes on me. If you keep your eyes on me, life will be great for you because you actually
The
will
thing
follow
has
me.
her work cut out for her. For
You would
her
do the things that I
infinite
do.
complaints.
You do the
Sane.
works that I do, which are just simple
I
things
would
like
give her a
helping
discount
people,
if I was a different person.
being nice to people. Number one thing, understand how people are. I mean, you're not all knowing, no, but you could still be grateful for other people now. Like the lady I'm talking about working at. I want to heal her. I want to heal her. I want to heal a lot of people in that. I want to see their spirits rise. I want them to get off the fucking drugs. I want them to be released from the devil's fucking grip. I want them to feel like that the world actually does love them, that so they don't have to commit themselves. How many people always like slander this person that, and I kind of did up front too because I was looking at like, how can you be so old and still not learn that you don't have to do these things to be happy? But that's the thing. It doesn't matter about the age, it matters about the knowledge. If you just don't know, you don't know. You can be 100 years old on your deathbed, and finally you know the truth of Jesus, and then Jesus forgives you all your sins, and you go to heaven. That's literally what he states. It's like if you fully repent your sins and fully believe in your heart that I am God, then you go to heaven. And it's always a hard thing to put into perspective because I already know there's probably a lot of people out there, majority like 90% of the population of the world, give or take, don't believe at all. Like they don't believe the concept. And like I listen to people, like kids, and they're like, it's like, oh, that seems like a really good religion to be. It's like Buddha, I'm like, well, what the fuck is Buddha? Like, well, Buddha's, like, yeah, Buddha's a fake fucking god that doesn't exist. Like, you guys worship these gods, they're all demons. They're all demons. Going from Buddha, the Hindus, the Greek gods of fucking go fuck themselves, they're all demons. The Egyptian gods, all of them are demons. Especially Muslim god, that's a demon. These are all demons. They all know the gospel. They all know the gospel, and they all stay with the gospel. That's why they use it. They all use Jesus' words because they know that he's God. They have to use it. Every religion uses words in their own way to manipulate you. It always goes down to Christ. And I fundamentally think it's hilarious that people haven't found this out. Even the internet, like people that are like people that are actually intelligent enough to know better, they pinpoint it's like every religion talks about Christ in some way or another. But only Jesus says, I am the way, I am the truth. You only get to the Father, which is through me. No other religion talks about that. It's not about your fucking works. It truly isn't. Yes, being a good person gives you props. Doing the works of the saints gives you props. It truly does. But the thing of it is, we can't do enough. The reason why is because we were we cannot stop sinning. It's nearly impossible. It is so scarily impossible to stop sinning. Like it's just so like how many sins do people create every day? Like some sins are a lot more easier to like shall not steal, that's easy to do. Shall not murder, that's easy to do. Because it's immoral. Shall not covet thy neighbor, and that I guess that's kind of easy to do. Love thy neighbor like you love yourself, and that, and also that's just your heart. That's how you think of people. So that can be rather difficult. Do not commit adultery. Commit adultery happens so much because there's so many non-spiritual people out there that believe in God, especially Christ, God, whatever, both, one at the same. They don't understand. They're not aware of how they do things. Women wear less clothes because they tend to show more skin to be more slutty. And what happens is that affects the man, and the man tries to do the same thing to attract those women to have sex with them. Obviously, that's common. But back then, it wasn't like that. Like, when people were having straight up intercourse, it had nothing to do with, it had something to do with the body now because God tells us to be fit, to be to be armed and to be ready for if something does happen, that we will be able to be athletic. And that's why we get in such good shape and why our bodies, lose a lot of weight and shit, why we get so toned in that, because it's like constantly being ready for war. It could be a war with an animal, a war with a tree, or war with a crop, and that it's enabled our bodies to be strong enough to deal with the survival mechanisms that we need to deal with. That's why you see a ton of fat fucking people in that. You see an enormous amount of ill will, undisciplined people in that, because their lives aren't hard enough, and the way they want to produce their hallucination about how hard life is, it's literally just them sitting there and complaining about the simplest things because they don't want to do it themselves. And I listen to these sort of things, and I get it. I'm right there with you when it comes down to certain things and that. But the thing is, if I don't do it in that, sometimes I don't do certain things. Sometimes I do certain things, like cleaning my room and that. I pick up my room every now and again. It's not to say I do it like every single time something, like clothes drop on the floor. No, some days I'm tired and I don't feel like doing shit. But other days are different than that. I pick up my room in that. I try to keep myself clean. I'll take long showers and make sure I get the soap suds in my skin in that, because I do have my issue of eczema in that, which is probably one of the things I don't think anyone should have. It's just these little things that we can do as humans to try to, it just makes life better for us. When you see people, like people that don't brush their fucking teeth, and I work with people that just don't have fucking teeth, and they're fucking crackheads, meth heads. They're so hallucinated by the world they don't believe in. They don't believe in God, so they're just like, well, God's this bad, blah 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 blah. And you look at their lives. I said, like, God's not bad. You're just stupid. Thing is, you don't have the knowledge. You don't understand. They always say, well, I read the Bible before that. Man, if you read the Bible, it just means you just don't believe it. If you don't believe in something, which means it'll never happen. Our belief in something is what generates us to do the things that we do. Like, if you believe in partying and doing drugs and being a fucking wannabe millionaire when you're a broke ass dude, and you're sitting there believing all this fucking stupid shit, and you spend all of your money on drugs, you're wondering why I can't pay bills. Yeah, because you're fucking high all day. You want to have a loser life. That's not God's fault. That's your fault. People keep blaming everything on God. Like, God doesn't. God gives you blessings. You don't need to fucking sit there and follow His directions. You don't have to sit there and do a good thing if you choose not to. It's not to say these people are bad people, not to say they don't have good hearts. Just they make these constant mistakes, and they're so tormented by themselves. The one thing I was working at, his woman's always like upset with her, and I told him, I said, why don't you ask her to forgive you? He's like, oh man, it's all my fault. Now, like, it doesn't matter what you did in your past, bro. She has to forgive you so she can move on too. Like, this act of like, I just keep on hating someone is the most ridiculous thing ever. It's like, your hatred doesn't do nothing. It doesn't fix problems because you can't go back in the past and fix them. So why do you dwell on the past at all anyway? People have so much past hatred that they can never move on with their life because they always throw down that hatred bullshit constantly. I said, fuck your dumbass past. Forgive your past mistakes and move the fuck on with your life. That's where all of your anxiety comes from. That's the bulk of your shit comes from. It's from your past. Do you not know that your past doesn't exist anymore? That life keeps moving forward. It starts off with your present day and moves forward till night until you go to bed. And once you go to bed, that past day doesn't exist. Here's why, because every day is a new day to stop setting, to adjust your life, to do better in it. This is why when people make these huge fucking goals and that don't make any fucking sense, because they do like 3 years online. I'm going to do a 3-month workout goal. The workout really hard for the first like week, and then they're like, man, I'm so tired now. I don't think doing it. Yeah, well, number one, you're not letting your body recover. Just like being like a fitness model or being anybody that like every day matters. Like, okay, I do an hour worth of cardio a day. Okay. I gotta get my heart rate up to like 130 something, maybe 140 something. Keep it steady for that hour. Not starting off cardio. When you start off, it's when you get that peak heart rate, and then you go into your cardio, because that's how you actually lose weight. When your heart rate peaks up to 130 something, 140 something, that's about the average heart rate of cardiovascular. Sometimes it's more than that. That's when you keep your body steady, because that's when you're actually losing weight. Your body burns off fat. It doesn't just sit there and burn off fat just because you lose fucking calories. Truly, it doesn't do that. So I train myself with this, and the reason why I don't follow it because I'm just a fucking lazy bitch. But I'm starting to get back into it again because I saw it when I was sitting there. I jogged for about like I think it was about an hour straight, about an hour and a half. Simple jog, just simple skipping. My body was feeling good in that. I used to run a lot in that. Like, okay, I'm gonna go run that. I went jogging in that. I focused on anything. My blood started pumping in that. My body started clearing out all the fucking bullshit. I just kept on running. I said once when I got home and then I fell asleep, I literally woke up 6 pounds lighter. I literally dropped 6 pounds of fat. Like, just instantly. It just left me. And even one of the kids, even one of the other guys that saw me now, was like a couple years older than me. This was like when I was like 17 or 16 or something like that. He's like, man, it's like, you look like you dropped weight. You look skinny. And I was like, oh, I've been running a lot in that, you know? He's like, oh, he kept saw me running around the neighborhood. And I think as soon as I stopped running, I gained a whole bunch of fucking weight back. The thing is, like, during the time in that I wasn't eating, I was relying on my fat. But the thing of it is, if you don't get your heart rate up, you can't absorb fat. It's really like when you fast, you don't start absorbing fat till after like the first like what 16 to 24 hours of fasting. That's when you actually absorb fat. Like it just doesn't work like that. Like yeah, if you keep your calories like low and you only eat so much food per meal, that's a good thing. If you only eat 400 calories per meal and you can only roughly get in like 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day,
In
and you
different
really need
times, the
2,000, but
electi
as
would
long as
have
you get
been
all your protein
easy
in, which is
food.
probably going to be the bulk of
The
your
fact that I have
food,
not robbed them all blind
guess
must
what
be an
happens? You're going to
excellent
drop weight.
personal growth, Ekenanzi.
I mean, you're going to drop weight. And that's the idea behind it. And I'm starting to learn that too. It's all about your heart rate. Because, like, there's a certain heart rate. That's why your heart rate, does specific things. Like, when you tone down your heart rate down to like 80 to like 70 something beats per minute, you start to do growth hormone things. Your growth hormones get really fucking high. And then when you trigger your heart rate to go up to a certain percent, you start to lose weight because your heart rate is what regulates the hormones of your body in that. That's why I say the cardiovascular rate's like 130 or plus. And that's why you need enough energy in your muscles to be able to do that. That's why you have to eat. Like you'll burn off calories in that while you're moving, but then your fat will start coming in to burn it. So I did the other day now when I was lifting weights really hard and that I was sweating, my heart rate was up, and I felt my fat getting spongy, which is telling me that my body's starting to cycle fat away. So I had to keep my heart rate high in that, during that weightlifting. People say a lot of stuff about it. It's like, well, if you lift weights and that, you can't lose weight. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? If you actually lift a good amount of weights, you're lifting to the strenuous of like your heart rate gets up in that. And you kind of focus, like you tighten up all your muscles now a little bit while you're doing your like main thing. You're gonna sit there and drop a enormous amount of weight. It's gonna keep on dropping. That's why when you see like super lean physiques and that the number one thing they do is cardio. I'm almost done. I'm about to take a dump here a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to get up probably a level or two. But yeah, the more we look at life in that, like everything's a regulator. How do you regulate your mind in that? I always tell people, when you express yourself, you can never depress yourself. And that's the biggest thing that people always have. They have this type of annoyance with themselves where they just don't, like, practically just don't understand it. Like, one of the ladies I'm working at, you don't know why people rely on drugs so much. Is because they're too scared to face actual reality. They don't know how to face something that's so dramatically and they think it's horrible. It's because you're trying to control something that you have no control over. That's the point why Jesus said, I will lay you to rest. All the heavy labors, all the anxiety, everything that you have in your life, and that he gives you rest. And the reason why he does that is because, well, he loves you. Like, because people think of God as like, they think of God as like a normal human. But the thing of it is, God is not human. God is God. God is almighty. God is omnipotent. It's really hard to understand God and how he works. I ponder about it sometimes too. And he tells me not to worry about it. I just don't like. And I want to get to know him on that kind of thing. Like, love is everything in his eyes. But when he sees sin and he sees people go down the wrong path, and that's what's happening today, and that you got to think about it. Our world has a sin meter. And the more we sin, the higher that meter gets up. And once the meter gets to that breaking point, God has to intervene because he doesn't want us to go into that sin again because he promised not to destroy the world again. God, it's all about how we interpret our lives. That's why we have the Bible for. That's why we should know the Bible. We should know what the saints are saying. That the shit's pretty common, easy crap. And it's not anything ridiculous hard. You just follow the Ten Commandments. You know, if you marry someone that is wicked, you try to get them to confess. Confess their sins, to confess their life in that, and to be forgiven, to get in a relationship with God with you, and that instead of separating everything and thinking the world's so bad and that, and like sometimes people do make mistakes. I agree with that. But like I thought about my ex for that brief moment. That how much like she's such a materialistic person because she never really had anything in her life because she was always sitting there, always. I guess she's always been broke or she's always been taken care of. And like I think about that and like you know one of the things you could have done is instead of being an idiot and using a bunch of people and doing the whole like I can't do nothing on my own. And everybody and anybody's gonna tell you that any woman that's in a relationship in their fucking 30s now, they're all gonna say it's easier to do stuff with someone. Like you should never took someone away from you that gave you better life than the one that you were just with. Because I always talk about it's like, why do you want to do all these traveling that do all this stuff and that? Like to be committed with someone is be committed with someone. Fuck this world. This world doesn't mean a pile of dog shit. Yeah, you could be in harmony with nature and that. Yeah, nature and that. But the world itself is very sinful and super fucking corrupt. Like I said, just being with someone that I love and just watch cartoons and shit is all I would ever want to do. And occasionally, maybe go out every now and again, maybe go on a walk and that, play some video games. And like doing all this pointless shit. It's like, oh, look at me, I want to pretend that I'm high class. It blows my mind. I'm like, there's no need for that because you're not high class. High class doesn't mean shit. If you live in your way and your way is secure and you're happy and content with what you do, then why do you need more than what you need? If you're happy with your life, yes, getting a raise at work and that doesn't mean your lifestyle has to change. We shouldn't follow money with lifestyle. Your lifestyle should say that's how people stay wealthy. People don't stay wealthy when they constantly are throwing all their money at everything and they wonder why they're always fucking broke and they always blame everything else besides their own self. Like I say, I live with my parents. I stay with my parents. I got my own little room in that. It's my own little dungeon, and I like it. I love being here. You know, I go down the road and that and throw in certain things and do stuff and that, but no, my life's simple. I have a big ass TV, I have my console, I have my pre workouts, my peptides, my vitamins now. I got, you know, a multivitamin, you know, Vital Fusion, whatever it is. It's like gummies and that. I have my protein shakes and that. You know, I give them bill money and that, and you know, I enjoy my life. You know, it's just like I don't want anything else. And other people, you know,
The
what
people
all
of
this stuff. And it's
Carcadia
because you
were
see
meant
stuff
for
on
fortune
TV
telling.
and that. I'm
Your
like,
pawn is looking positively
them
ghastly,
people that
and
work for
Mercury
their
is
money
about
and
to
that, and
crash
they
on
want
that
all that
ramshackle
succession,
colony
and that they do
house.
it because they're fucking
But
bored.
for a tidy
It's
sum
something
of
to do.
20,000
You think
credits,
people make
I just
work
might
that
be
hard
able
and
to
that just for the
help.
fucking money? The money comes in because they work hard. It's not because they make a lot of money and they work hard because of that money. The money comes in because they enjoy what they do and they work hard for it. Like when I go into working at, I enable my job very well. Like the other day, I wasn't even on the line that much because I'm tired of fucking feeding these people that are fucking lazy. They get online that for maybe like an hour or so, and they get fucking flipped out and shit. And I just get off the line. I'm like, you got like 100 fucking people here. You know, there's like two other people there that are food. One left at 9, the other one left at. You're supposed to leave at 1, but he ended up leaving at 12. You know, because he didn't want to work the last hour. It's like, okay, whatever. Now, you know, like the manager even agreed with it. Like laborers get high in that anyway. So normally I'm on the line. Normally, as soon as I get there, I got there at what? I think it was at 7. I ain't gonna line to like after truck. I got a line for like maybe like 10, 15 minutes actually working. I went straight to truck at like almost 10. I didn't get done with truck because the big truck until like 11:20, give or take. And like I sat there and I'm just like, okay, like, and I wasn't even barely on the line that long. And I found it kind of funny that I slowed down my work things because no one else does anything. And like one of the things we've been talking about is that we like people babysit. And I say, yeah, I babysit everybody here, besides the management, because the management actually does their job. But like everybody else is lazy. They don't want to do things they need to do, and sometimes they do, but like they don't want to be consistent on it, and like their emotions are everywhere, and they're like, I was like, I understand people are like this, but I have to say is my God, it's the most annoying thing ever. When you have like a clear mindset, you're like, okay, I'm going to work and that we're gonna conquer this shit, cause why not? You know, I have nothing else to fucking do. Go in, I do what I have to do. You know, my personality has changed to a certain extent. I want to be, you know, more helpful, like I used to be as a child. And that, and I saw going too is like when I was a young teenager. Now, like I was always willing to work hard. I liked it. Why? Because I believed in it. I even believe in being one of the harder workers. Not to work so hard I get exhausted, but work hard enough that I can understand that I'm doing something good. But the number one thing that I've learned throughout all my years now, just because you work hard doesn't mean you go sit there and like complain a huge amount because you do a little bit of work that's hard. That's one of the fundamentals. That people themselves don't understand. 'Cause I remember when I was working at Wendy's and that, and I was a hard worker. And I was one of the faster sandwich makers, and I did a really good job in that. But then one day, you know, I had a bunch of people fucking yelling at me and shit, and I'm just like, dude, I'm like, stop fucking yelling at me. I can't do all these orders at once. And I was like, well, hurry up and get your shit done. And they did this stuff on purpose, like, because they were bitches. They didn't want me to stay there. Then what happens? They end up calling in another person. Another person came in, and they didn't even yell at him at all. And I just left. I said, fuck this shit. I'm leaving. You guys are fucking terrible people. You guys are barking at me, yelling at me. The manager that was there wasn't saying anything, and I was like, my God, bro. It's like, you're not helping me. I'm only doing what I can. And like, a lot of the people there didn't fucking like me. You know, they kept pointing off against me and that, and like, I got to the
Last
point where, like,
night,
you guys
I
hate me
had the
so fucking
strangest
much.
dream. It was
And it was
about
because one of the
robot
guys was
pigs.
there. Honestly, he was a
I wonder
jealous
what it
fucking
means.
bitch ass piece of shit person. He got massively jealous over me because one of his little, I guess, fuck girls and that start flirting with me and that, and he got mad at me. But I remember I was 21 years old and that, so like I just got out of high school and that. It's like one of my first like actual jobs. And I was sitting there like, why are you getting mad, bro? It's like, oh, you're trying. I was like, dude, she's talking to me, you fucking moron. And I started learning about jealousy and that. And one of the things is that changed nowadays. No one does that thing because I'm twice the size I used to be. I actually carry like power, and I show it every day when I come into work because I'm the thickest dude at fucking work. I'm just like, I have a lot of masculinity in that, and like no one fucking sits there and says anything because I can. I sit there like, well, if you're gonna be a dick in that, then I'll be a dick back. And if they see that I'm stronger than them, which I am, they have to not. They can't say nothing. They sit there like they buckle. So just remember that average human beings, especially average males, are not that strong compared to like someone just works out for a couple of years, that actually trains, you know, throughout the ages of their life and that, you know, because you never lift weights before, you never understand pain that much. You don't understand much pain as a male. You don't gain a lot of discipline because pain is one of the things that we have to deal with. It's like a kid cries and that because they get scraped. A man my age and that, I get scraped all the damn time. My fingers get cut and all that stuff and that. Fuck, I'll be bleeding all over the damn place. Not like squirting out blood or whatever, but I'm like, one day working, my thumb got cut. I didn't know it got cut, and I was just bleeding. It was a somewhat of a deep cut, and I was just bleeding quite a bit in that. And I kind of had to stop in that, so I wrapped it up, and that wouldn't stop, so I put a band-aid on it. And like, you know, oh, what's up, Ellie Jelly? That's funny. And I look from the perspective of just like, this is what it is to be a man. Like, you just sit there, you just stop caring about pain. You ignore it because you know you have to keep working. What happened now? Oh, nothing. I'm just chitter chatting that because I'm about ready to probably go to the gym and shit. Not the full name. Oh, well, it doesn't matter if it's the full name or not. I just feel like Big W. You got bit by a squirrel? How the fuck did you get? Squirrels don't bite people. What'd you do? Most animals don't bite people unless you're like in their territory being a dick. Especially squirrels. Squirrels always run away. You didn't do anything. Yeah, unless a squirrel has rabies or something, they're not gonna like start attacking you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same thing too. I got a lot of squirrels and rabbits and that they never really attack. They always run away. you're sitting in your backyard, a squirrel came up to you and bit you. I mean, certain things can happen. I mean, stupid shit does happen every day. It's just a very small percentage. Wow. I don't think I ever got bit by a squirrel before. I got bit by a dog. Not hard, but I got bit by a cat. Interesting. I mean, I guess. I think what's more interesting is learn how to deal with temptation. Learn how demons work in that. I find that more interesting. Been doing good. Start lifting weights again. Starting to get my workout routine going. Dealing with the little bit of bullshit that's happening at work, but it's not a lot, honestly, to tell you the truth. It's been calming down a lot. Just deal with the people, or just when they don't see things from like my perspective. It's just like it's hard to like talk to them because like I don't know. I think so much differently than they do, and they just kind of just like you know. I deal with a lot of like panickers, a lot of people that have a lot of pride, and they don't even know that they have it, but it's very obviously it's there. Like one of the discussions I have with one of my managers, that dude that has a lot of pride. He doesn't admit that he does stuff wrong. I mean, he does, but he doesn't. He gets really scared that to be at fault. I said, well, if you keep hiding your fault, then you're never gonna actually experience the learning aspect of it. I don't know why people put into people's heads like, don't make mistakes in life. Life is about mistakes. Your whole entire existence is about mistakes. Yeah. Yeah, life's just all about mistakes. And we make mistakes waking up in the morning. We gotta, sit there, we stub our fucking toe in that. It's simple facts. It's like it's like dealing with anger, which is probably one of the huge things to deal with when people go to rampage mode. Straight up, anger comes with not self-loving. You just create an anger pattern because you just hate things around you. It all deals with pride. Pride implicates anxiety, depression, all these other things that because you don't sit there, and sometimes it doesn't activate them. Sometimes people just have anxiety. But pride always keeps you to think that you're on top of the world that you made. And the thing is, you didn't make the fucking world. You're living in the world. Like, it's like when people get to the point in life that they finish, like, something, they're like, you could be prideful over things. They're like, I'm proud of myself for completing things in my life that I completed. And there's still more to do because that's what life is. Continuously always trying to grasp and do more. That's why when people live the life like a sprint, they end up dying out and get bored easily. But when you live life like a marathon, you move slowly, you're learning slowly. It changes the fabric of everything. I always tell people that, there's certain things you can do and there's certain things you can't do. And one of the things you shouldn't do is sit there and destroy yourself too fast. Because recovery is a bitch. It takes time to recover. So if you don't sit there and recover and go down that line, you're gonna rush and get too much pain on you, and you're gonna fucking just stop doing it. It's like when people try to lose weight, and that they think losing weight is just running super hard and do all this fast stuff, and that like don't eat at all. And people, I said you can fast, Like, but you can't stress out and fast because stressing it beats up your spirit. You can't do that to yourself. A lot of people do. They'll harm their spirit and not release, what they need to release. The stress or the anxiety in that, and end up going to like the state of mind that they end up like losing their fucking hair and shit and going through all this crap of that because they're stressing out so much because they want to get it done. I said, if you could pull that stress out, not worried about it, and just do what you can do, that's what it is. You do what you can do. You do the best you can do every day, then you will get rewarded with what you want. Humans in life always want to stress out about things because of knowledge. We lack knowledge on everything that we do. We don't know what's going to happen. It's like saying, like, if I want to go to a woman like, if I know they're attracted to me because I'm smart enough to understand woman logic, which is fucking nearly impossible because you bitches are fucking crazy. But the whole point of it is that once you understand how it works, then you call what they call a player. You play the game just perfectly, and all the women fall in love with you. And like you could consistently do that, and that's why we have these mind games with this relationship thing that we're dealing with nowadays. There's so many people trying to grasp the knowledge of players, but players themselves are just overly confident. They're like massively confident men that have great jobs or like really good fucking shape, and women fall in love with them anyway. But the personality is what keeps them connected. Because for some reason, the psyche of people that is always different. The more feminine you are, the more you grasp to masculinity. The more masculine you are, the more you go towards femininity. And when people sit there and and like you got a feminine based man that's really emotional and that they grasp toward masculine women. Like a masculine man can't go with a masculine woman. The funny thing is, a masculine woman will always go feminine when a masculine man is around them. The one enables enormous amount of control and says, hey, this is how life is going to be. Because the things you're doing, are not healthy for you. They're stupid for you. And the woman has to sit there and go down that road. But I think believe people rely on other humans a little too much. They're relying on God. You don't need another person to be with you for you to be healed. That's where you get desperatism. I mean, people get desperate as fuck, and they try really fucking hard. Like the guy that I work with that, he's gay. He has a massive crush on me. He doesn't always say it. He'll flat out fucking lie about it, but it's very well that it's there. He tries so hard to get my attention because he wants me to be closer to him. Because he sees, well, you like being with girls or what? It's like, but you're not a woman, bro. You have to understand, being gay, because you're acting gay, is the hardest thing in the world to do because people they're not naturally gay. They're naturally straight. What do you want to say? They're the natural order of man. We go after women. We stick our dongs in pussy. It's just how it is. But when you're practicing gay stuff and that, you gotta find someone that's practicing that same thing because gay people don't grow on trees. They don't actually technically exist. They could say they exist. Well, yeah, you could say anything exists. But that's going down the rabbit hole. People think that they're like animals and that. No, that's not your natural origin though. That's just what you believe in because you're a fucking moron. But our natural origin is to mate with women and have babies. And to be in love with women. To be in love with each other. And to be in love with nature. And to be in love with God. Our roots have scattered all over the place. No one believes in that. No one wants to believe in that. Like I always talk about my relationship issues and that. It's never me. I have my little issues that. Like I said, if I'm rooting really deeply in the world and that, and I'm with God as much as I can be, like I try my hardest to get a relationship with God as much as I can. And when you go down that road and that you try to find other people that are kind of like you, fuck, I can't find nobody. Like they're like everybody's just sitting there they're all like, it's not that they're all whores and sluts. It's nothing to do with that. It's just they have this mentality like that, and then they eventually get down to that road where they fuck too many dudes, or guys fuck too many girls and that, and then they're already off the deep end. It's hard to
I harden
get
my
them out of
words to
that thing
combat
because they live
new
that
and
life like that.
unprecedented dangers,
It's like,
or
I
give
noticed
in
that
to the
people that
instant
worship their
gratification
bodies a
of
lot, they
something
worship how
new
skinny
and
they are, and they worship how they
extravagant.
look in that.
I
They're
am
constantly doing everything they can to make
feeling
themselves look as best they can.
new.
And they believe that's how they get people. Exactly. You're right. But I think about my ex. My ex tried so hard. She had acne issues and that. She would do everything to treat herself and that. She would do everything to make her body look as good as possible. Because that's all she had that she thought. I said, yes, your body is indicated to getting a guy fucking hard and for him to fucking nut all over you and that is not love. That's not a relationship. And as I said, she didn't know that, but a lot of people that's your main purpose. You get so you can have a nice body in that because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to look good because you want to feel good. There's nothing wrong with that. God doesn't want us to be fat anyway because he says, fatness, gluttony is the reason why, people are not productive in the world. You see massively fat, obese people, and they walk around that, and some of them struggle with it because of the way they were raised in that, and they go through the weight loss thing, and they feel so much better when they do it. But the thing of it is, it just takes time. But like when you worship yourself and the way you look, and you think everybody likes me, yeah, I like you for your looks, but not for you. That's the problem. You put all your belief in the way you look instead of your heart, instead of who you are. You don't put you have some belief in it because you have to be someone. And that's what I think. And then you want to worship other people's bodies. That's how my ex was. My ex wanted to be with steroid-induced fucking jockheads. But she says she's in love with dorky people and I like watching cartoons and shit 'cause that's what she does. So what right there is telling me she's fighting against two personalities. She's trying to she wants to have sex with all these hot fucking muscly dudes and that, but deep inside her heart, she wants to be that dorky playing video games and that and just having a good time with someone that she loves. I said that's what she's fighting against. She's fighting against two different personalities, and the personality that she's fighting against the most is the one that she, pulled away from God from. Obsessed with bodies and obsessed with all this pride with the way people look in that, super fucking judgmental over certain things and that. But her heart was actually nice and gentle and loving and caring. She showed a lot of femininity. I say, well, that's the problem is you don't believe you're attractive because you follow this body morphosis fucking shit, basically body dysmorphia, that you believe that if you don't look a specific way, people are not going to like you. And I agree with that to a certain extent because you should look good. But when you already look good, you're just tricking your mind and thinking you're not good enough. It's like when I but yeah, like I try to tell her this and you already look good. Like you look fantastic as a woman. I said, why do you try to get more? The first thing she did, she talked about, she complained about how big her boobs were, and I'm like, your boobs look great. Like, you don't need bigger boobs. Like, from a man's perspective, like, women always think, well, men always want me to have these gigantic tits. No, actually, men don't. Men, a lot of men, if a girl's got big breasts, they got big breasts. But we look at it from a natural perspective. Like, if a girl has naturally big breasts, we're like, okay, your tits are big, nice. But if they have, seduced fucking fake tits, most guys are going to be like, that's not what I want. Because it doesn't look like you. It's not you. It's not your natural response. I always see all these fake, OF girls and that. They get their butts injected with fat, and their asses look catastrophically wonky, and they think it's hot. The women think that's hot. Yeah, guys will fucking smack their meats off to you, but they're not gonna. They're just like, okay, well, your butt's fat. That's about it. And then you look at the rest of their body now, it looks weird. It doesn't look like it's actually like It's like it's not naturally to that thickness. And it's just like, what are you doing to yourself? Yes, there's simps out there, and I have to say this. Simps out there, you guys have fallen in line. You guys are making women worse because you guys are gravitating towards this fakeness of a woman. You're not looking for the naturalness of them. Masculine look for naturalness of women. I said Max, perfectly hot as fuck. Tremendously attractive. I love looking at her. Very beautiful. But when she sat there and kept on doing stuff, and I'm like, you're already attractive. Like, maintain yourself in that. Worry about your weight and that. Yeah, you should worry about how much fat you have on you. Because honestly, being fat is rather unattractive. I think people should do cardio every day or do some type of calisthenics or work a little harder at your job and that burn off more calories and that. I mean, yeah, I agree with that 100%. I'm starting to get into that. I'm starting to worry about how like fat I am and that. Yeah. But that's kind of the point. Like, we live this life that there's little things that we should worry about, but that's personal shit. But it's not a worry that kills you. It just keeps your mind actively thinking about it. Like, okay, should I eat a big bowl of pasta or should I eat just rice and fish? So if I eat this big bowl of pasta, I'm gonna be tired in that because it's so much food. But if I eat like this little bit of stuff, I'm not gonna be tired in that. And I can keep on
Sometimes
working.
I
You're gonna eat the
wonder
rice and
if he
fish
always intended
because
to
you
give me
know
these
that
cards. Did I
pasta
win that
tastes good.
match? Or
But
did
pasta
he?
itself is too filling and it makes you fucking tired. And it does. So you'll just eat rice. You'll eat potatoes. You'll eat eggs. You'll stay with beef, chicken, fish, shrimp. All those proteins in that are, you can cook. You can get all the shit off of them. You can, you know, and that's what you start to think like. And then you start to get really attractive. You start to drop weight naturally because your body's just actually getting energy. Surprisingly, a lot of food that we eat and that we don't get a lot of energy from. You know? So like one of the things, that I tend to eat at my job, and I always have like, lots of steak and lots of their chicken. And I think that's probably preserved in that, a little bit in that, whatever, preservatives are fucking everything. But I try to eat more protein at my job in that. We always have rice, and rice is the purest thing we have in that. Because this rice doesn't, I think it's like a brown rice. It doesn't really have any like bleached a lot in that. You don't need to preserve rice because rice is dry and it preserves itself. And so like I go down that route, like okay, let's keep doing that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's just the factors of what's going on in life. We have to constantly keep on thinking about little things and that. Just don't overthink things. Keep things rather small. Because when we overthink things, we push our lives way too far above our own heads that we lose sight of where we're even at. Like, if love is everything, then we should worry about love. We should worry about happiness. Well, it is too short. The fleshy world is too short, but the spiritual world is everlasting. And if you look at heaven more than you look at this world and that, then you start to see that you don't have to live the worldly way. You don't have to be filthy fucking rich. Good answer because stuff is what it is. I think people don't understand that, like, all the things that we get, everybody, all the rich people already have in general. I got everything that I want. I don't want anything else besides maybe like an electric scooter. Because I like electric scooters now because it is easier to get to work and shit. And like, but I insistently just want to walk, you know? It would be fun. If I go down that, route and that, I said, this is my life. I always wanted to get a motorcycle and drive around the motorcycle and that. So maybe one day when I get enough luxury, I'll probably buy one. And then I'll do all that shit. But the meanwhile in that, I don't know. I think being at my age, I'm kind of already set in stone. All they do is worry about, I'm trying to, the first thing I want to do is my mind is already set. I'm following Jesus. I follow his word. And I follow it more and more each day. My spirit is complete. I know where I'm going. I know right where I'm going with my life. I don't want to be the anxiety, depressed Cody anymore. I want to be, the masculine, I conquer, my life, Cody. I don't want to be the person I used to be. And I love that I am. Because now I actually know why my life was the way it was. It's that huge amount of jealousy. I had fucking people that fucking just hated me. Probably not hate me in the way of like want to harm me. That they hated me because I had something they didn't have. And unfortunately, I always brag about it's the fucking looks. Countless times I get bragged about my looks. And it's constantly happening. I have this one girl at work that calls me princess. And sometimes, like one day they call me and say, "Oh, did you have your little your little your beauty sleep or whatever?" I'm like, beauty sleep? What are you talking about? It's like, oh, nothing. It's like they're constantly always talking about my attraction. And like I'm not even like in the best shape. Like, oh, my face structure looks nice. Okay, whatever. Just another day. Like whatever. But that's what it was. And then I finally figured it out. I'm like, okay. So the thing that I have, other guys want, and they don't like it that other guys have it is just attraction. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay, well, so my whole entire life's been about the way I look, not just my personality or who I am. It's always been based upon that to a certain extent. More like I think about it, like my past catches up with me a little bit, and I think about it sometimes. I remember having like these girls that I used to like see from school and that they come in out of nowhere, and they'll talk to me, and they're always like telling me, "It's like, oh, I liked you a lot," and that. Da, da, da. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, you know, I'm like, you wouldn't want to be with me because I had a lot of issues in that. But the thing is, if I ever went with one of those girls, I could have seen something different. To a certain extent, yes. But like for some people, in that like one of the things my ex told me that I find kind of funny that she used to work with this guy and that he was GM. He had a lot of like authority in that. He was very like controlling, very masculine. And she said he wasn't that attractive looking, but she had the hots for him. So I don't know what it is. I had massive hots for him. That's because he was controlling and he had the what you call big dick energy. He had a lot of like masculine energy, and women are always attracted to that because like what it is probably because he shoos you off all the time. You know, like I noticed when men ignore women that like them, they like them even more. And I'm just like, why is that? Because they're trying to crave your attention. When you give them any amount of attention, even just saying hi to them, they feel fulfilled. Because like one of the girls at work, the girls I do work with, and that I've noticed like certain things with them that like it's like they want me to come into work all the time. When I'm not there, that feels weird because like the tension's very awkward. And that, and like, well, yeah, it's because I establish a front to get shit done, and that attraction's gonna be there as soon as I walk in. You know, I mean, right now it's because my physique is thicker and that I look like a fucking man. I walk in with stout shoulders, thick back, and that, and it's just to look at me altogether. And like, it's like even my voice is kind of changing a little bit. It's getting a little bit more deeper and shit. I've noticed that too. And that just kind of explains that, the way my life should have been back then. I should have been like this back then. I could have conquered my world very easily. But I decided not to do that. I took the very emotional route, and it kind of fucked me over for like 20 something years. But it is what it is. I'm happy that I'm doing it now, but this world is very unfair, and it's kind of fun that it's unfair because that just means that you could be the unfair one, as in like you could have stuff, you could be blessed with more than everybody else, and people can't understand it because they don't get it at all anyway. I think everyone's blessed with specific things, That's why you see some people are like blessed with like really good looks and that, and I've been seeing that a lot lately. Now, like, there's a new fad going on where like everybody wants to be skinny, like everybody wants to be skinny, like no one wants to be fat. Everyone's working out. I see tons of women at the gym. At the gym I go to, I see enormous amount of women that go to the gym. Probably, ages from like fucking 18 to like 25. And like, there's probably like a couple hundred of them that go to the gym and that. And they're always working out. They're always doing cardio. They're always doing stuff. And I see older ladies going there, always doing stuff and that, Obviously, a lot of people go in there because they want to see, big, muscly guys work out and that. That's the honest truth. And a lot of guys go there because they want to see chicks with fat asses doing the stare thing. It's kind of funny that because the stairmaster machines are literally the first thing you have to walk by just to get to the first drinking fountain, to get to the man's, thing. You can walk around, but no guy does because you got all that fat ass in your face. Of course, you're gonna walk by, you're gonna see all that ass, you're gonna be like, nice. And there's a bunch of dudes on there. You're like, oh, a bunch of smelly ass dudes with fucking dirty fart sweats and shit. That's basically what it is. It's very unique. I'm like, oh, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna go to the bathroom here in a little bit, and then I'm gonna go probably eat some more food. But yeah. I definitely have to say is, when you start to believe in Jesus and that, your life changes dramatically. Hebrew word, it's like, they look at Jesus and that, the word Jesus means God saves. That's the whole point of Jesus' name. That's why Jesus is such a powerful name. It literally means sacrifice. God sacrificed himself for us. And once you get that into your mind, you put it into your heart, it literally resonates with you. God literally sacrificed, the Almighty God, the one that created everything, sacrificed himself in flesh, evidently, because he can't die, he's immortal, but he sacrifices him in flesh to spill his blood to give to all humanity sin forgiveness. And it's a sort of like way of thinking that produces this kind of lifestyle that we try to grind for. Because I notice there's quite a bit of people now, like ones that listen to me, like you, Vince, and a couple people in that listen to me now. We're all around the same boat. We're trying to understand why life is like that. We're traditional human beings. We want to be in love with people, but we see how terrible it is out there. Yeah, it's bad. It's actually really fucking bad. I honestly think God's going to do something soon. I think our sins are getting so fucking outrageous that something's going to happen. And that's not going to say all human beings that are in the United States or whatever. I think it's going to be more or less like Los Angeles, California, and all that shit. That like people that are living in the very sinful worlds that project all this shit. Once when they die out and they all just disappear, which I think something's going to happen soon. I think it's already happening now because we already have a downfall and stuff like that. I think a lot of the industry is going to switch over to good masculine based, stuff, and that, like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold have always produced that. Sylvester Stallone always produced very masculine movies and that. And like every time you watch like Jason Statham or any of the Expendables, that is always talking about killing dictators and killing terrorists and that, and pushing back wicked people and that. And like that's been one of the things that's always been on our minds, like during the '80s and stuff like that. Like everyone fought against evil people. Nowadays, like sometimes they don't go, they kind of stick to that road because no one likes dictators altogether now, but they go down the really gay stuff and that, like they want to transform this person, that person, and all stuff and that. You keep pushing these really fucking fruity, faggoty ass fucking agendas, and people say, "Oh, you can't say that." No, we're gonna start saying these words now because no one should fall in line with these. No children should see this shit. No children should see a bunch of fucking faggots fuck each other now. It's like honestly, I'm tired of it as a male. Like I've seen all these gay guys and that, and there's not a lot of gay guys in general and that. Fuck, I barely ever meet them and that. There's very small men. When you see them, that it's just fucking disgusting. And the first thing they always want to say is, "Oh, you're just jealous." No, dude, you just look like a fucking faggot, bro. You're a man. Be masculine. Titty bomb fucking women with your face in that. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And like we need to bring back, oh, yeah, your messages are trying to pop up now. My bad. I saw the workout one. Yeah, I'm gonna get off actually right now on that. I'm gonna do something. Mom's chatterbox. No, let's say let's make God great again. Let's make Jesus great again. The furries. Let's make Jesus great again. Let's make fucking straight guys and straight women great again. Let's fondle some titties and stroke some gigantic dicks. Whatever the fuck it is. Let's stop playing this role of fucking stupidity. It's gonna hurt a lot of people that have that practice of gayness or bisexuals or fucking stupid shit they fucking make up. They're gonna have to get put into like a way of thinking differently. It's so hard because these people are fucking lost as fuck. Anyway, I'm gonna go take a shit. I'm gonna get off.